Hello and welcome to another update video about Tesla. Yeah, Tesla seems to have finally chosen a pathway. It did not break our resistance levels. I mentioned it before that Tesla is a stock that likes to extend into resistance areas quite a bit. Tesla likes to test the 78.6 retracement level. It did that here as well. Not sure why the chart isn't loading right now, but it did that here as well. Where was it? Yeah, it was here actually in March. Yeah, so we also came down in an A, B, C structure, and this B wave also touched at the time a 78.6 retrace. And here again, we had two interesting and very successful short trade areas on the chart. This one was a box before. I've simplified it recently to just show the 78.6 retracement, which the price respected. And then here as well, it maxed out resistance to 268, but did not invalidate the count. So it's just playing out the wave count right now. It was getting really, really difficult up here, as it always is when resistance levels are being maxed out. But no invalidation, and the downside wave count that we expected primarily, which is the white wave count, is still in play. I think in the last video we also talked about a bullish scenario, a more bullish direct breakout pattern here in the orange count, but it was only the alternative and would only have come into play after ideally 5 waves up. We only had 3 waves up here, W, X, Y. And also to make the orange wave count more likely, which was the more direct bullish count, we would have needed to see a break above 268 at the very least. So because that was never broken, our primary wave count remains valid, and funny enough, the price turned exactly in resistance. So an interesting short trade area. I know that some of the viewers here and some of our subscribers to the stocks and S&P 500 service have taken short positions there. So this is now getting interesting. I did mention before to be careful with short trades here until we have a first 5-wave move down and 3-wave move up, which is what we had eventually. So this led to a complete breakdown, which is pretty cool. So now we are getting closer to that support area again that worked out before. So you can see how the chart is really beautifully respecting those fib levels. Support box, resistance, resistance again, and now we're getting into support. And I don't think this move down is over just yet. I think it's only really just started to roll. It should go down a little lower. And there are different ways how this can be counted, unfortunately, all right? So my reading is that this is an impulse to the downside. 5 down, 3 up, 5 down, which should still get a 4 and a 5 off wave 3 here. Then another 4 and another 5 to complete circle wave 2. This can take us down. I mean, I would prefer the area between 197 and 176. Just be aware that whenever or as soon as we get into this support area, the low could technically be in. But the roadmap still suggests lower at the moment. Don't forget that there is also a yellow wave count that could send us down lower, potentially to 130. Which is also a bullish wave count, very importantly. Yeah. So what I will do now, I will actually take off I leave the orange count on the chart. It was the least likely count anyway, but nevertheless, we'll leave it on the chart for now. They're all bullish, okay? So they're all bullish scenarios, but in our bullish scenarios, we were expecting a decline before a direct breakout higher. So at the moment, the trend is down, which is great. So because that was in line with forecast, it allows for lower entries, and we have to prepare potentially for a drop all the way down to 129. That doesn't mean we have to get there, but it means we have to prepare for it, and we have to potentially be ready for it. Let me just check here what's going on with the Wi-Fi on the other screen. Oh, should be okay in a sec. We have to be ready for it, yeah, potentially. And that all depends on which wave count is playing out. We don't know at this stage, but we have clear parameters we can be watching. So the yellow count is basically a bullish count in which we are moving up in an ending diagonal. The white wave count is an even more bullish 1-2-1-2 setup. But if we have 2 counts and one allows for a deeper pullback, I would mentally and also for risk management purposes usually prefer to focus on the lower support just for risk management purposes, okay? So if it turns earlier, even better. And at the moment, we have to be looking at lower prices anyway until we see a first small impulse to the upside. What I can leave you with is that this doesn't look finished at all yet. I'm tracking here the third wave down. I mean, what's a key target for this small third wave? We can measure that. We take the length of the wave 1, go to the high of the 2. What I would typically like to see is, let me just double check that. Is that actually correct? Yeah, so it reached the 1.618 extension level already. Yeah. So the minimum requirements for this third wave are done. So what I would now like to see is a fourth wave at some point, maybe tomorrow. So there should likely be a fourth wave bounce. That fourth wave ideally should not break above the 50% retracement level. So let's bring resistance onto the chart. This would be resistance for the wave 4. And resistance would be between $233, which is the ideal target for a fourth wave, and $237.70. Now, a break above 237.70 would indicate that something different is going on, not necessarily be bullish. Yeah, it would not necessarily be bullish, but it could just be a more complex correction that might be unfolding here. So, and that is the area I would be watching. And essentially what we would need to see for a reversal confirmation would be a first impulse above resistance and the first corrective pullback. But I don't expect it at this stage, okay? Also, the resistance area will change a little if the price goes down more directly. Yeah, that's my update about Tesla. Again, it's one of the stocks that is analyzed regularly in our stocks and S&P 500 package. If you want to be kept up to date, you can check that out. The link is in the video description. There are also other stocks that are obviously analyzed and the S&P 500 on a daily basis. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.